You know, things have been a bit too cutesy as of late, wouldn't you agree? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. That's pretty much my entire art style. But sometimes a moth like me needs some carnage, just a little bit of variety, just a tiny bit of... Carrion. This game used to be staying on my wish list for God knows how long, alongside Silksong. One day I hope to get that cleared from my list. I remember first seeing this game way back on an interview about procedural animation, and becoming fascinated with the concept. I even was there to play that demo that came out a bit ago, before putting it back in the mind, until now that is. And, thanks to my impulsive spending habits, we now have this specimen to sink our teeth into and assimilate. So, call out to your hive, get your prehensile tentacles ready, and keep your teeth sharp. Today we're going to be crawling around Carrion. The tone of this game is almost immediately made clear upon entering the title screen. While other games will usually have a calm little set piece to ease the player into it, Carrion does it a bit differently. Well, isn't that quite the scene? Your first impression to the game is an uncomfortable one for sure, the massive flesh and mouth bearing down on you as that mangled tongue swirls around your cursor, all the while a drone in these fleshy sounds is all that welcome your ears. You can tell almost immediately, just by looking at it, that your journey is going to be a wild ride. That creature in question is this thing, a large mass of mouths, eyes, and tendrils that assimilates biomass into itself in order to grow larger and larger. And these guys? They are flesh, to be assimilated into your mass. A word has come into descriptions for this type of game, reverse horror. While there isn't a concrete definition for this genre as far as my digging can tell, you can get a general idea from the name and gameplay. You aren't the one running from something in the fence, nor being chased down by an unfathomable mass. You are the unfathomable mass bearing down on unknowing scientists. The only thing to be horrified of is yourself as you rip through the crowds of helpless individuals. And that is exactly what this game exemplifies the feelings of. In this game, your arsenal starts out small, only being able to move, grab, and bite, but as you absorb samples of genetic material and grow larger and larger, you gain more and more abilities to outthink your opposition. At first, you are given a web that can both solve puzzles and immobilize your targets. Then, you get a slam that can charge forwards, destroying everything in your path. And finally, most devastatingly, you acquire a volley of harpoon tendrils, causing mass devastation wherever they are pointed. There is even more that you can utilize with power absorbed from the grids. Invisibility that will allow you to sneak past defenses, spikes that will impale anyone who even comes close to you, and a shield that can protect you from explosions that'll otherwise eviscerate you in an instant. But who else to use all these destructive abilities against other than the helpless individuals you start off with? That's where the unfortunate targets begin to step up their game. Some of the basic scientists may begin to arm themselves with pistols to gun you down, but the real threat comes from the military, sent in specifically to contain you. Some will come equipped with machine guns to mow you down, but more dangerously, some come packed with flamethrowers to quickly burn through your mass. There are other enemies which you'll face across the course of the game, but all encounters have something in common, which is your durability. Despite your large size, you're also extremely squishy. Those personnel with flamethrowers I mentioned earlier can be a menace if you're careless and caught on fire. You'll see your mass quickly deplete. No, you can't just allow yourself in an open position. You need to think like a monster. You'll need to sneak around in vents, hiding behind walls and underneath platforms, grabbing your victims from the feet and into your maw, flinging props at these soldiers before they can even raise their shields, and going in for a bite. The feel of this game is absolutely on point, carefully analyzing your targets, looking for an opening, and then striking before they can even fire a shot. You are powerful, but you still need to be careful. You need to be that force in the dark that no one expects. There's one word that came into my mind time and time again while making this video. Grotesque. And this is intentional. You take the unthinkable form stalking you through the dark, and now flesh out its story to the focus. You get to see every horrifying detail of the mass as it grows, how it crashes around the environment with its tendrils, and how it spreads itself to slowly take over the facility. And what's worse than all that? It's intelligent. This thing is highly intelligent. After all, it is being controlled by a fellow intelligent being. You have the ability to contemplate mistakes, formulate strategies, and learn, and so does the creature. And this intelligence and trickery manifests itself most greatly in the parasitism ability. This one is a completely different one on its own from all the others, being dedicated its own button. By using this ability, you can extend an additional tendril that can infest any organic being that is not completely dismembered. Using this, as long as they don't see him infesting them, you can covertly infest the ranks before turning on them and wiping everyone out in advance for you to safely move forwards. Eventually, your journey leads you back to where it all began, the original site from which you broke out of. Everyone willing to fight you is now gone, leaving only the remaining stragglers hiding away, hoping to never catch a glimpse of you. And here, you find the last piece to your plan, an upgrade to parasitism. Now, you don't need a body to control. You can simply make one to hide inside, completely indistinguishable from a normal human body. With this newfound ability, you can finally escape into the surface, the camera panning up as the sun sets. We don't get to see what happens afterwards, but it can be easily speculated on. One of the main weaknesses of the creature was that it couldn't blend in, at least not for an extended period of time. Anyone could identify it and run away or attack in an instant. But now? Now it can blend in, sneakily biding its time and gaining mass, as it evolves into something truly unstoppable. This ending scene is an oddly chilling one, watching it slowly become night as you can only think about the destruction that will be caused. Of course, there's a more charitable view of the creature's true intentions. We do know that it is highly intelligent, so who could say that it wasn't perhaps sapient to agree as well? Perhaps it simply didn't want to be kept in a test tube for the rest of its life. Maybe it simply wanted to be free and did what it needed to do. With how much inspiration this game seems to take from older films, it seems almost fitting that it would end on such a note, leaving the viewer to continuously think about what possibilities could lie beyond that quarantine city. That's something I can appreciate. But there are some things about this game that I don't appreciate so much, of course. There's the lack of a map system, which wouldn't be a problem if the entire world wasn't so open. Later in the game, when I was searching for some of the optional containment chambers, I found myself aimlessly wandering around until I stumbled across something. There's also some mechanics that aren't really properly explained, which can lead to some confusion on how you're meant to tackle a problem, like how the invisibility doesn't drain power as long as you stand still. And for $20, this game is a rather bit short. In fact, I 100% completed the game within 2 days of buying it. I guess there can be something said about it not overstaying its welcome, but personally I'd much rather have the down moments polished out for a longer experience. But if you wouldn't mind spending a bit for this kind of experience, or if it comes onto sale, I still couldn't recommend this game more. Well, if you're able to handle this kind of thing, that is. But sometimes, it can be a nice change of pace to engage in a game like this. After all, eating the same food every day will only lead to you getting sick of it, so this can act as a nice, meaty palate cleanser. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Stay safe, and be wary of events. I'll be up ahead, and I hope we meet again soon.